What happened?
Whoa, where did Michael go? Welcome everybody to the Daily Hi-Fi Podcast. My name's John, the Techno Dad. I'm here with Joe and Tell, and Michael, the Youthman, was here a minute ago, and
he ducked out.
He's out for some reason. I'm sure we can get him back in. Let me just make sure.
So my video might have a slight sync issue. I'm trying this new capture card over here, so forgive me. We didn't really have time to set it up, but it's all right.
There he is.
There he is. What happened?
I have no idea.
I went to close the window and I ended up closing the whole browser. I was like, dang.
Yeah,
all right.
There you go.
I actually need to open up that my live stream so I can respond to the chat, and that's gonna. Let me see if I can mute it.
I found out if you just turn your volume down. Then
Dynamic duo. I just bought the LGB9. What's up, TJ, Scott, Lil JB, Cal? What's up, Ike? What's going on?
There we go. Move this over to this screen over here.
If you put the volume down on the stream, then you can.
What's going on, everybody?
And you can even pop out the chat, Mike.
All right.
Pop out the chat. What does that mean?
Yeah, actually, let me go to pop it. Pop it like it's hot.
Dude, this dude doesn't dance. What's going on, BL Swagger? VIP experience.
I will.
You don't dance.
I don't dance, man. Oh, man. If I dance, it gets nasty.
It's not good?
Oh, it's embarrassing, man.
Dancing?
No, he's saying that I don't dance.
I'm
like
just
he
trying
said,
to pop out
like
some
it's hot.
chat here from your guys' channel so I don't miss anything.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm having to bounce back and forth between my personal chat and everybody's chat.
Big Swag. Ed the First, Dwayne.
Yeah. So Chris over here says, Joe, sorry that your stuff burnt down. Yeah, I'm pretty sorry too. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, that was messed up, man.
It kind of sucks. But one thing to remember, right? A pro tip for you guys out there who have to experience life and all the weird, crazy stuff that happens in life is that, you can't always control your emotions, right? Mm-hmm. Your emotions are real, all right? So, yeah, I was a little upset. I was pissed. Mm-hmm. I was sad about it. But you can control your attitude towards your emotions.
That's true, man.
Pro tip.
It's good stuff.
So I'm not going to let that determine, what's going to happen moving forward. So
good attitude to have, man. Good attitude. Right. How's everybody doing, man?
Right. Mike, you can just pop out the chat and just have it as a floating window.
Really? Like you drag it or what? I see live comments. Pop out now.
You know what everybody should just do is everybody should just go to Chana's channel, Techno Dad's channel, send him a super chat over there because he's the one hosting all this. And you can tell that his internet's struggling. Like he needs an upgrade on the internet service. So you see him over here.
You're at 120p right now, man.
I think the kid is probably
it is like literally 120p on our end.
Will Thomas in the house.
20. Yeah, I think the kid is probably playing some video games or wife streaming or something over there. What's going on?
No, she's watching How to Get Away with Murder. That's on the DVR.
Oh, okay.
That's on the DVR.
Well, kids playing some games or something. Something's going on over there in Mammoth. So it's tourists, Jana.
Huh?
It's the tourists.
Yeah, the damn tourists are here, man. There's like a stay-at-home order. It's not stay at your second home. It's stay at home, stay put, stay where you are.
Nah. I thought it was visit Chana week.
Who?
The tourist, man. They were coming to see you. You're a celeb.
Let's see here. Jay-Z says, "Yo, open those micas." So on Reddit, I posted the video of the firefighter opening up the thing, and then like you could still see like the micas in there. Just the box, and I'm like, I wonder what happens if I unbox those. You think they'll be working in good working condition? The box looked okay. We'll see. Maybe that'll be a fun thing.
Hey, Brett, to answer your question, you got 3 emails. Basically, right now we're trying some new things over the last couple of weeks. Instead of streaming just to one person's channel, and each week we're bouncing around and trying to let you guys know, hey, we're going to be on Joe's channel this week, my channel next week, Chana's, we're just streaming to all 3 at the same time. So that's probably why you got 3 notifications. So
what's going on?
Yeah. I think for all you guys out there, try your best to don't try your best, just go to youtube.com/daily hi-fi. And once we get past the threshold, I think it's 1,000.
Yeah. Then we can start streaming to that.
We'll be able to stream from, to one place. That'll be the place. Chana just took off.
I think his internet's bad, man.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's any better.
I'm getting some crazy delay.
He's at a solid 120p, maybe 15 frames per second, something like that.
It is.
I'm hearing both Mike and Joe at the same time.
Lil JB says that 50K internet connection is struggling.
You're looking like me on that cruise ship.
It's pretty rough, man.
I just removed the destination.
He looks confused. Look at him.
Is there a huge lag on your end, Chana?
It's the hair.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening now.
There must be a big lag on his end because he's like really slow to reply.
Oh, man.
Cool. So while Chana works on that, I know we got some questions over here. I already saw some popping up. Where was it?
We are not prepared today, right?
No, we're fully prepared, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. We had a meeting earlier this morning, so.
Yeah, that was fun. The meeting was fun.
Yeah. You had a good time?
Yeah, it was a good meeting. I thought it was a good meeting.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you. That's cool.
So what is the question here?
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, okay, actually, I'm getting lag from Mike.
TJ Hootcell.
Uh-huh.
Says, here's a question for you guys. When listening to music in stereo with a sub.
Yeah.
Johnny, you're on a different planet, man. Oh my goodness. He's having all kinds of technical difficulties. So anyway, back to your question. So here's a question. When listening to music in stereo with a sub, do you leave the speakers playing full range or do you cut off the low end? Well, I don't have a sub in my 2-channel setup. That's looking better, Chana. Kind of. Not really. I don't know what's going on with Chana's end.
No wonder it was funny to you guys. That is funny.
I'm saying.
So
I don't use a sub in my 2-channel setup. In my home theater, if I'm listening to music, yes, I use the subwoofer, but I don't set my main speakers to full range. I always use a crossover, but that's just personal preference. Joe, what about you, man?
Well, you said that your La Scalas don't really hit that low anyway, right?
They don't. They're like 70 hertz, man.
How do they do that? They're huge.
Effectively. They're not. I read an article. Now, remember, my La Scalas were made in 1980. So they're 40 years old.
Uh-huh.
So I read a document from PKW, Paul Klipsch, and he somehow in that document was basically saying that they're effective down to about 70 hertz. Man, Chana, you are struggling bad, dude. We're talking a 14.4 baud modem.
Yeah. Like each eyeball is like 1 pixel.
He's not even 22.
One big pixel.
22.8. He's 14.4, man. Forget that 56K modem. So it was working fine earlier.
I think TJ, to answer your question, on my system, I set it so that in 2-channel mode that it plays full range with no subs. And that's because a lot of times I'll use that mode to test out speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't be, using the sub. Otherwise, I would be assuming that the speakers have bass when they may or may not. So yeah, I would say if you're gonna do like some kind of like pure direct mode, then make sure to set it to not have what they call like double bass. It used to be called double bass before.
Yeah.
Now it's just called like LFE plus main, right?
Right.
Which means that LFE. What is LFE plus main? Is LFE is anything below 120 hertz and anything that's sent as LFE, like low frequency. What is it? what's LFE? Whatever, low frequency content, right? And double bass is just basically saying anything that the speakers aren't handling, right? Anything that they can't handle will also go to that sub. But I think at a certain point, the way what you're describing is you can have both your main speakers and the sub playing the same content. Low frequency extension, okay. Yeah, so yeah, you don't want both of them playing the same bass notes, otherwise it starts getting a little bit boomy, exaggerated.
Got
What
another
else?
question here. Let's see. Do you guys monitor Able? Is it Thermador? Says, do you guys monitor equipment temperature? And if you do, what's your target amplifier temperature? I don't monitor it. I have a oh my goodness, I gotta remember the brand, Aircom. So it's almost like a cooling fan that sits on top of the amplifier to keep it cool. It sucks the air up. And the biggest reason for me is I don't have a lot of vertical space above my amplifier. So if you don't have a lot of room in your rack, you want that heat to dissipate. So I chose one that blows air out the back. So out, like, you can either have the exhaust in the front, the back, or the top. So just depending on where you want that hot air to be blown. So, and I honestly, I forget what temperature I set it, but basically it's pretty smart because you can set like your kind of like what you're talking about, a desired temperature. Hey, if it hits, 85 or 90 or whatever, then go ahead and kick on, so, but I've just got it set to the smart option. So it just kind of works on its own. Good question.
TJ followed up and said, the reason I ask is because I worked in a store where REL dealers and they recommend keeping the speakers on full range due to the high level input set up with the REL subs. And REL is one of those companies where they recommend that you run it through the high level input because what they say is because your amp is going to introduce its own type of sound. And so you want to include that, in the subwoofer to help it blend better. I'm not sure how much I buy that just because you're running.
It seems weird, but
to another amp. So I don't know. I haven't actually tested those. Chana has some, but he's not here. He's out trying to fix this thing.
And the version that he has doesn't have that option.
His doesn't have the high level?
I don't think so. I know he said he's just running the LFE.
Yeah, and I know they also have issues. They have some sort of adapter in case you're using a Class D amp. It doesn't work well with that.
Gotcha.
So they have this thing that needs to work properly.
Yeah, the first time I saw on their YouTube channel how they did that, it was really weird. I'm like, what in the world? So they're basically using the high level input and the LFE, and it's like you got to tie the yellow to a ground on your pre-pro or your receiver, and then I'm like, man, it's definitely different. I've never seen anything like that. So,
yeah, and he's saying because basically it only covers the frequencies where your main speakers would cut off. So let's say, for example, if your main speakers went down to 25 hertz and the RELs go down to let's say 20 hertz, it's only covering 20 to 25 hertz.
Yeah,
very small range there. What else do we have here? There's a bunch of people in the house. Deaf audiophiliac. I always feel wrong saying that.
Audiophiliac, yeah.
Well, deaf audiophiliacs. It sounds. I feel like. Oh, there. What's going on? There he is. What happened? You're back.
There he is. You look great, man.
Everything. I reset everything.
Oh, okay. I thought you had to kick off somebody off the internet. Like, hey.
No.
Yeah,
but it looks like it's working now.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. You were so laggy, man. And like I would say something and 20 seconds later you would respond. And I was like, whoa.
Well, now it was actually, for me, it was you. Like Joe would be talking, your lips are sealed, but then I can hear Mike talking and see Joe talking. It was.
Now you're starting to do it again.
There he goes again. I think somebody's streaming. I swear somebody's over there streaming.
I don't know.
What else we got here? Tristan is back at it again, talking about looks. He's always talking about looks.
He's checking out my hair, man. He's just jealous. I wanted it to match my my headphones here, so I added a little shade of brown.
Nobody could stop commenting in your video. They're like, I'm so distracted by the hair.
I was dying, man. I'm like, oh,
Were you?
I thought it was funny as crap.
I wasn't sure if
Funny.
it was like one of those, like, he's
Nah,
cool about everything, but don't talk about
dude,
the thing
no,
that
Don't
dude.
talk about the hair.
I don't take offense to nothing, man. If you are willing to put yourself out there in front of people on the internet, you better be ready because you're gonna get it all. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know?
I personally like the salt and pepper myself. It matches the shirt that you have on there. You know, I think it looks nice and wise when you have it salt and pepper. I mean, I can't wait till mine looks.
See, I've had it since I was 24. So I'm like, man, I started like I started really early.
24.
So when did you have kids? Around that age? Is that why?
Actually, yeah, I started having kids at 20. I was 21. Yeah, I was 21 when we had our first child. But I started off with like a wisdom patch. Here we go. Like a wisdom patch right here. And then eventually over the years, it turned into a wisdom pasture. It was just all over. Yeah.
Mine started right here. Right over here.
Nice.
What else we got here? Yeah, so Tristan's in the house. I'm always happy to see him busting
Oh yeah,
balls.
dude. Yeah. My man, open it up. It's all good. It's all in fun.
I need you to go hard today, Tristan. You've
Okay,
taken it easy the past few times. This time I need you to go all in on everybody.
Well, here's a fun fact with Tristan. Tristan originally, I don't think he liked me very much. Oh man, he busted me big time.
Really?
And but I engaged with him. I just had a conversation. And by the end of the conversation, he was like, wow, I had you wrong, man. You know, and the reality is we perceive people one way, and it's not really till you get to know them that you either find out either you like them or you don't like them. So it was pretty cool. So now he's like my biggest supporter, man. He'll jump on somebody else when they say something. It's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
You don't mess with Youthman.
That's right.
Well, what didn't he like? I'm kind of curious. Like, you're too nice or what?
Tristan,
like this guy,
Tristan, my memory stinks. Remind us what that conversation was. I don't even know.
I think you're just too hyped about everything, too smiley.
No, it wasn't that. No, it was the way I believed. And man, it was just something that he and I disagreed on. He didn't think that, he didn't agree with my viewpoint on something. And he let me know. He was like, there
you go.
You don't know what you're talking about. I went, okay. And so I just had a conversation with him,
There you go.
And the reality is I'm not scared of people that have a differing opinion of me. I realize I'm not the smartest. I don't know it all. I'm still learning daily, and I'm okay with that.
Topher 45 says, "What's up, guys? It would be awesome if one of you guys would review the Wharfdale Evo line. They said they were going to send me some. Never happened. I think they ran out of stock. So, yeah, I could use those because my favorite Denton 85th anniversary, they were in storage. So those are probably gone. Probably. Yeah,
that sucks,
dude. They're ragging you big time on your internet, Chana.
Yeah,
said you're rolling with AOL internet tonight.
No, it's pretty strange.
Yeah, it's so weird, man.
I saw somebody with an Earthlink at earthlink.net. Anytime like I see it at earthlink.net.
You remember Net Zero?
Yeah.
That was the free internet.
Yeah, Net Zero.
Oh my gosh. I was too broke, man. I didn't have any money. Okay, it was about the way that I measure subwoofer performance. And I thought I liked specs more than just hearing someone's opinion. But Michael was very diplomatic and honest, and I fell in love. So, yeah. So we just had a difference of, and I'll throw this out, guys. I am not the guy when it comes to measurements. I try just because people ask for it. They're like, hey, I mean, it's cool that you're sharing what you think and what you hear, but we'd like to see some measurements. And then when you do show some measurements, then they just slam me like, oh, you should have done it this way. Oh, you can't do it that way. And that invalidated the whole daggone thing. You're like, oh, I can't win, man.
Once you start traveling into that scientific territory, some people get real scientific. They're like, well, that's not controlled, this and that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you have to either,
and we do the best that we can
in that arena, you got to chill for a little bit because they get crazy on you.
Yeah. So prime example. So I've got the JVC NX7 and I had my Epson 5040 UB. And so I shared with you guys offline.
I went in on you on that one, huh?
Yeah. And so just to let these guys in the chat know and who are watching, so I had already prepared. There was a guy that reached out to me and said, "Hey, are you selling your 5040?" I said, "Yeah." And that's, I sent him a message. He said, "Man, I'll buy it." So it was a real quick transaction. I mean, like within a couple of days, it was gone. So right before I got it, or before I shipped it out, I'm like, okay, well, let me at least get some footage of the 5040, and the same day, same channel, lock down all the settings, aperture, ISO, shutter speed, and even the color temperature. So I figured, okay, there's nothing that's going to change. We've controlled the situation, all of the variables, lighting is the same, HDMI cables. I mean, everything is the same. And then I put them side by side in Adobe Premiere Pro, and I'm like, that's quite different. And my eyes don't remember it being, the colors being that off. And Joe was like, "Why is it kind of pink?"
It was straight up like pinkish.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
was like,
thing wasn't pinkish. The sky was blue in one, and the other one was pink. I'm like,
yeah,
there might be a difference, but that looks very different.
yeah.
Is
And
that
so I'm
how
like,
it looked?
no, well, there's no way it could have been. I mean, because I always thought it looked really nice.
Okay.
You know, I knew it wasn't perfect, but it was a great picture. But I'm telling you, man, now the JVC, like I did a video earlier today, and holy cow, man. I mean, we're talking details. I bought the movie Lucy,
Mhm.
crazy 4K image. I mean, we're talking ridiculous 4K image. And Morgan Freeman, man, I'm fast forwarding through the video, and I see Morgan Freeman's face, you know, because he's got like lots of detail going on in his face.
Mhm.
I mean, but you got like the whiskers, you got the mole, you got the freckles, you got his hair.
The painted
I mean,
man.
I mean, like so much detail, dude. I'm getting chill bumps. Like it's crazy detail, dude. I mean, it looks awesome.
Almost as detailed as Chana's video right now, huh?
Oh,
Oh,
man, it's
yeah.
really, really close to
Just
that.
like that.
Almost.
Maybe a step up from it,
Maybe,
but
okay.
not too far.
Yeah, no, Lucy is like one of the best.
I know because I have Chana's Blu-ray right now. It's pretty awesome.
Here's
Yeah.
another
Got a bunch
question. There's
Blu-rays
another question in the chat. Mo VZ says, Youthman, I asked you today what volume you watched your movies, and you told me around -15 dB. How about Chana and Joe? What do y'all listen to when you're watching a movie? About what volume?
You know, it's hard to tell because is that, you know, what the level that it shows right there? Is that the actual?
So,
right?
if it's set to reference, if you've calibrated it, then it should be pretty accurate. So you should be, if it's at -15, you'd be 15 decibels under reference.
Oh, I don't use the.
Oh, use the 1 to
I
100.
okay.
Yeah,
I
It's
go
actually on the Denon, it's 1 to 95. So it's kind of weird.
You know what's weird though is also it changes, right? We were talking about that, Chana.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes if you max it out, it's different depending on the setting you're on.
Yeah. Yeah. And depending on the audio, I remember I was listening to some Sade. I was blasting it, right? And it was getting up into the 86, 89, 90. And then I went and put on some DTSX movie. Lone Survivor. And I could only put that up to 85. I wouldn't go any higher. And I was like, why is this happening? I don't know.
I don't know. I bump it pretty loud, depending on the movie too. Depends on the movie.
I always have my wife telling me to turn it down or asking me why it's so loud. So I don't know.
Mine does too. And she's usually on the other end of the house.
Mine's sitting next to me like, why is it so loud?
Dude, Jessica texts me. She's like, turn it down. Stuff is shaking. I'm like,
stuff is shaking.
Sorry.
Let's see here. Who else we got? We got Life of Bliss. Life of Bliss. That guy is in here.
Oh, funny.
I like that guy.
So Daniel Miller changed his name just for you, Joe.
Is it? What is it?
I think he was the audiophiliac.
Okay. All right. Well, just
assuming that was him.
I was confused. He's an audiophile and deaf. Like that's hard to do.
The dead audiophile.
Tristan said that JVC and X7 is the truth. I saw parts of Morgan Freeman I cannot unsee. Oh my goodness, man.
That's great.
Cool.
I got my godsons in here. Neo's in here. Yeah. That makes me happy. I know we got some birthdays coming up.
Life of Bliss is in the house. What's up, brother?
Yeah.
Al's got that big old monster OSB amplifier, 11 channel.
Oh yeah, that OSD. You know what? That's a new company to me.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot about them until he told me he was reaching out to them. He's like, man, check out this monster amp. I'm like, holy crap.
Well, I just sold one. I was looking on Amazon, right? You look at and see like what has sold recently, and then I saw a 5-channel OSD amp. It was like $500. I'm like, what?
What's that?
Oh, yeah. Have you seen it? Looks kind of like that Outlaw one that you reviewed.
It's a monster.
Well, not the one he reviewed. The one that Life of
the smaller one.
It's huge.
Yeah.
This 5-channel one looked pretty cool, and it was $500. So if it's halfway decent, it's pretty awesome.
Now that's going to be the multi-channel. I don't know if it's going to be in that, because those are more like low wattage, 12-channel amplifiers.
Stereo amplifiers.
Should be a home theater section somewhere. Maybe not. There. What was that one right below? Go down a little bit. Right in the middle. What's that? High power. Oh, that's only 2-channel. Don't know, man.
Getting gray hairs.
350 by 2. They don't have any pricing on their website though.
No, they don't.
OSD. But yeah, they got a big old monster amplifier, man. It's crazy.
It has like 200 some pounds.
Yeah, Kyle was trying to flex on it. He's like, I ain't moving it.
Hey, Chana, can you bring up that? Is that the 5-channel one?
No.
Bring up it's on Amazon. If you just type in OSD Amazon, you'll see it. But yeah, if it's halfway decent, that's pretty awesome.
Cool.
180 by 5.
Well, yeah, look at that. It's pretty cool, right?
Insides look just like the this looks just like the Outlaw 5000.
Really? It beats the same.
I mean, it's a different layout, but they look pretty similar.
Yeah, Kyle says their home theater branch is fairly new, only a couple of years old. Their outdoor speaker department has been around for a while. So I guess that's kind of how they got started doing the outdoor stuff. But they look pretty slick.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like how they.
I mean, like you said, Joe, 5 channels for $500.
Yeah,
ain't bad.
That's crazy.
And they have balanced XLR inputs, which usually at that price point you don't get.
Sure.
So.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Check that guy out.
Let's see what else.
Rodney's got a question. Can he's talking about the Martin Logans. Can the 60 XTI be used behind the screen for front speakers? Pretty much any speaker can be used behind the screen for your front speakers. So if you've got the room for them, they're going to perform basically the same as they would, in front of a screen or out to the side of a screen. The only difference typically with an acoustic transparent screen, you have some attenuation on that top end. So in other words, you'll lose just a little bit of that, but typically it's so minor that Odyssey or your room correction software will compensate for that. So it's not a big deal. Woot woot.
You see, you see Andrew Barnes there saying I can't get Dolby Atmos to work with Netflix and Disney Plus, NVIDIA Shield, 4K projector, and Denon 6500. So I have a very similar setup with a Shield. I use Disney Plus. I have an X4500H. Make sure that you have that setting for HDMI, right, Chana?
Yeah.
To enhanced, because if you don't, then you won't get all that
goodness. Well, I mean, that's mostly for HDR, but
really, so you
couldn't hurt.
Atmos should still come through, huh?
Right, Atmos comes through on HDMI 1.4. So,
well, forget what I just.
It's what's funny. I had a Denon 3808 Ci and some old Denon that I got at the same time. It's like a Blu-ray transport, right? And I was selling these things like 2 years ago when I sold all my old stuff, about 13, 14 years old. And I put in John Wick just to see if the Blu-ray player would work. And I plugged it into the new Denon I had. And it's like, Atmos on the new Denon. I'm like, I'm getting Atmos from this 13-year-old Blu-ray transport, and I was like, oh, right, it's just setting it to bitstream. So it was, yeah, it's all good, man. So I don't know why he's not getting Atmos.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it make sure the app is up to date? Because before Disney Plus was not delivering Atmos or HDR, so make sure that that's up to date. What else could possibly be the issue? Why wouldn't it be delivering Atmos?
On off a Shield? I have no idea. It should automatically go to it.
Yeah, if you have an Xbox, you can do that test that you always run, right?
Yeah, you could try the Xbox or
well, that's
kind of. Oh, it's a projector.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you want support, Patreon/TechnoDad.
If you want support, you should probably try. So somebody asked me some weird question today, and I was just like, "Oh man, I don't know. It sounds like you got a defective unit." It was something about a Denon receiver. I don't know. But sometimes you just can't fix it. Sometimes you just get like you get a lemon, right?
Sure. Or you can always hit up Philip Jones. He left his email in that last one, remember?
That's right.
Over there at Sound United, you get it straight from the source. If you have an issue, you just call him up. Let's see here. I have a quick question for you guys.
What's up?
You saw what's going on with AMC theaters?
Oh,
and did we talk about that last time? AMC theaters and Universal.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a, kind of like a falling out, right? Because they released Trolls World Tour.
Yeah. Like straight for streaming.
They'd be like, they'll want to watch it right now. Yeah, straight. What do they call it? Premium Video on Demand, PVOD.
Something like that,
yeah.
They released it that way. They made like $100 million, right? But of course, nobody's gonna go to the movie theater right now.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's kind of crazy. AMC was actually my first job, so kind of funny. But
yeah, we got an AMC over here
right now. And so the fact that they released the video, so they're at least making some money, makes sense to me, right? But I think the problem was that they didn't say that they wouldn't do that in the future, right? And so they got the movie theaters worried about it. And what do you think? Do you think that movie theaters are maybe a thing of the past? Do you think it's something that's just going to continue?
Yeah, I don't think they're going now. If they can't financially stay afloat, that's one thing. But as far as people are still going to want to go to movie theaters. I mean, think about all the people that in your area, your friends, your family, your relatives, your neighbors. How many of them have a really nice setup? Very few, at least.
That's just me.
I mean, literally, like, I mean, I only have a couple of guys that even have a dedicated theater room in this area, and they're 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away, an hour and a half away.
What's funny is I think a lot of people got that movie, right? And they're just watching on their TV speakers. They don't even care.
Yeah, no.
I think maybe it's because it's a kids movie, but I don't know. There's a lot of music, so you'd expect that you want it to sound decent. I guess we'll see with the upcoming, what is it, like what's the next Fast and Furious thing going on? F9 or something.
The Fastest Furious.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we'll see, because that's one of those movies you kind of would want to watch in the theater.
Right.
Yeah, I do.
And all that. So we'll see. I mean, my thinking is that is the future. People like the convenience of staying home, watching a movie at home.
I agree, but I think there's
the food that they want. If your kids are allowed, who cares? You know what I mean?
I think people always want to go to the movie theaters. I really do. I don't think it'll ever go away.
Do you want to go to the movie theaters?
I do for those big movies.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm not waiting 3 months to watch a movie that I want to see.
Wait, hold on a second. If it came out at the same exact time, would you go and watch the movie?
Okay. All right. Yes, I would watch it in my own home theater. Absolutely. Yeah. My bad. I missed that part. I'm trying to read chats and I'm looking at Chana's 144p over here. And
you see the screen capture here? Hey, does the screen share actually come in good or no?
Yeah. No, it looks tight, man.
So theater at home, there's Trolls world premiere. There's The Invisible Man, and I don't know this weird Vin Diesel movie called The Bloodshot or Bloodshot.
I thought that looked kind of cool. I mean, it's not going to be a banger, but I thought
don't
it looked
know.
kind of interesting.
Might be.
So we got 3 movies here in Voodoo that are
Interesting.
supposed to be at theaters. Or is there any more? I don't think so. I think they put it at the top.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can understand why Universal Pictures did it, but like,
Yeah, but
they're getting all
what are
kinds
they
of
going to
flack.
do right now?
They're gonna do nothing right now.
Yeah, I mean,
if you think about like nobody's filming a movie either.
yeah,
So
exactly. So it's like they're just trying to stay afloat as well.
They used
So,
to make
I
me
mean,
try to work on Christmas. I have no love
no
for that.
quarrels with that. No love there.
Trying to
That's
make it
right,
work.
dude.
I'll tell you a funny story. They wanted me to. So the first year I worked there, they made me work on Christmas, right? All right, I get it. People still watch movies, and they go to the movies Christmas Day, whatever. And movie theaters, they don't get out till late, right? So we're talking about like sometimes you're there till 1 or 2 a.m., right? Cleaning up and doing all that stuff. So that kind of sucks because you miss out on Christmas, right? Now,
Seems like a lot of love for
there,
that.
the second year I was there, I figured, hey, I've been here at least a year, maybe let the newer guys, they can work on Christmas. Well, second year I was scheduled for Christmas, and when I found out, I just went on a lunch break and never came back.
Wow. Bad.
Oh man. Yeah.
Seems like a lot of people like the Bloodshot movie. So see, Joe, you may ought to check it out.
There it is.
But my point is, you know what? I think that this might lead to more people starting to think like, wonder what happens if I set up a home theater.
Yeah.
I think sound bars are going to go through the roof.
No.
Oh, they are, dude. Everybody's going to want a
gotta
sound
tell
bar.
them no sound bar.
It's up to us.
I know it.
This
We
is
got
our
to change the tide.
responsibility.
I get it.
Everybody in the chat, it's your responsibility.
I get it,
to make
man.
sure that your loved ones upgrade to a decent sound system.
That's right.
And not that sound bars are terrible, but a lot of times people get stuck on that and they think that that's the best. It's not. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on which person you ask, because the people at Walmart said that they sound better than.
Dude, that was funny, man.
I
was dying. Like, are you serious?
Yeah. But look at this. Drive-in concert. Danish Arts performing a sold-out drive-in concert.
Sold out. They fit more than that probably in their restrooms usually.
April 24th, 2020.
How many people are there?
There's not a lot.
One person per car.
That's right.
I would hope there's at least 4 people in the car, but who knows, Oh
man.
But I mean, that's just a sign of things to come. More entertainment at home.
I think we're gonna sell a lot more home theater stuff. I think people are gonna start looking. I've been selling a lot of those inexpensive projectors that I've reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Those $200 ones that are 1080, but they're
come on, Joe.
Thankyo or something.
What are you talking? Why?
I thought it was called janky.
No, they're $200.
Oh man!
All right, let's put it into perspective. They're $200. $200.
I know.
And if you turn off all the lights
and close your eyes.
No.
Close your eyes.
Well, yeah, and then it'll look as pink as that one video that you showed me with the Epson.
Okay, touche.
It gives you an experience. Let's just say that it gives you an idea of what the experience might be.
Okay.
Right? With a better projector. I would say, honestly, with projectors, I would say stay around like
1,000.
I'd say 1,000. I think you can get. I had a BenQ HT 2050.
Yeah.
Those I think you can get around like $700 or $800.
Yeah.
And those are very, very good. Like you can go on Projector Central and look up BenQ HT 2050.
Sure.
And great reviews.
Yeah.
Right? Because the colors are good. It's bright.
So do you think people would rather have like $1,000 projector or, well, I guess thinking of the equivalent for $1,000, you're not going to get a massive size screen in a TV either. So
no, you're not. I think most people would still rather have a TV, to be honest.
Okay. I was just trying to think that through logically, what they would prefer.
I would think most people would rather have a big-ish TV, right?
I think if they can come out with a really affordable ultra short throw projector, I think that would be. I think a lot of people would buy that. What do you think, Shauna?
I don't know. I can't fit. I don't have the space for an ultra short throw. Like, what am I gonna? Where's my center channel gonna go? You know,
That's true.
if we're talking about like a man cave setup, sure,
Gotcha.
run 2-channel Phantom Center, or maybe just run 4.1.4. You know,
Or a
no
2.1 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah. So
and then like imagine someone. Where's this one in the chat right here? Somebody said
actually I've reviewed one called a Vankyo projector.
Vankyo.
They're not terrible, I swear to you. They're not terrible. I can
that's
tell
like
you
when
right now.
that's like when somebody says, "Hey, do you want a bite of my whatever they're eating?" They're like, "It's not that bad."
It's not that.
terrible.
It's like, why do I want something that tastes bad, man?
I know. Like
Give
my
me
wife
something
was like, "Can you taste this? Does this taste bad?" I'm like, "I don't want to taste it now." Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about?
I think we're just
Like-
spoiled. 'Cause think about it, right? It's
We
first of all,
are,
they're
man.
real
I'm just giving you a hard time,
the
dude.
legit 1080p image, right?
No.
The problem with them really is number one, they're kind of loud, right? They're using LED as a light source, and so the colors aren't always great, and it's also not as bright. Like they usually say like it's 5,000 lux. Well, how about lumens? Like we don't measure in lux, so they're usually not very extremely bright enough, and loud, and the colors aren't great.
Wait,
But
doesn't
other than
that
you
mean luxury? LUX?
Decent.
Isn't that what they're trying to get across?
What's that?
LUX, isn't that like luxury, like lux? Right?
Lux.
Is
No,
that what they're trying to say?
measurement of light, but it's not the correct one that you can use to compare. So, like, a projector that has 2 to 3,000 lumen, that's good. So they'll say like, yeah, this has like 5,000 lux. Like, no, people are like, oh, that's bright. No, wrong measurement.
It's like random booty ass measurement.
Yeah, you look at it, it's like
uses
800 lumen. You know what I mean?
Don't they use Lamberts too? Is that another
Yeah.
measurement of light?
You guys are getting a little too advanced for my.
I've just seen it every once in a while. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Outlets
in the house. What's up, man?
Comment from A. Leon.
Huh?
I think most of my coworkers at a tech focused company don't run speakers at all. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
Hurt my feelings.
I mean, that's the reality. I mean, a lot of people don't have a nice setup. So
we got to change that.
We're trying to change the game, guys.
Right. And then like with all this stuff, everybody's staying at home. I'm sure everybody's like, man, this is the 5th movie I watched today. And like, I can't get these TV speakers to get any louder, or the soundbar to get any louder.
Yeah. And I can't hear the dialogue out of the speaker, in the TV. So we're fixing that, man. Got the Hi-Fi Summit coming up. I mean, that'll help.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. Yeah, I would say, run your normal TV. What is this guy saying? Joe driving around in a white van saying, I got a projector. You see him.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got to get rid of them.
I'll be like,
man.
Yeah, we're doing some custom installs in the neighborhood, and we have a bunch left over. But yeah, we've been selling these for 5,000. Need to get rid of them right now for $500.
$50.
That's funny.
Let's go.
Topher's got a question. He says, one quick question. Running a 7.2.2 Dolby Atmos setup. Living room is small, trying to justify putting the extra 2 front speakers in. So you're talking about making it a 7.2.4, I'm assuming? And what's your thoughts? Would it be worth it? To me, my thoughts on Dolby Atmos, Dolby recommends that you have at least 4. I mean, you can do 2, but they recommend having 4. And the way I look at it is, think of it this way. It's like if you were to try to have a pair of speakers create, quote, sound or surround sound, and have sound from the front and the back. You can do that, but it's a whole lot easier to accomplish that when you've got 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and I think that same kind of principle applies to when you've got overhead speakers as your Atmos. You're just it's a lot easier to create that bubble effect, that Atmos immersive audio with 4 speakers as opposed to 2. So if you can do 2 in ceiling speakers, man, go for it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
John, if you can't, try to put a lot of these chats up, just because a lot of people are different channels, so they're not seeing what we're seeing here.
Right.
Live comments,
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right.
And I think like everybody's got there's some funny dudes out here, man.
But yeah, Topher, when I went from 2 high channels to 4 high channels, I had to rewatch all my favorite Atmos scenes again because it's a game changer, man.
Yeah.
So if you can put 2 in, put them in.
Don't say that. I only have 2 up. Are you serious?
Yeah, you'll enjoy it, man.
No Atmos reviews for Joe.
Is it a real like difference? Like huge?
Yeah, dude. Because then it's the thing's actually like really flying over you.
Yeah.
You know,
they can position it. I mean, think about it. Like when you're watching Gravity, dude, there's 4 individual channels up there.
Oh man,
they're specific.
Yeah, and you're like spinning around, so you're hearing the voice come from like all different directions.
Yeah, Clooney's like,
yeah, Clooney. Yeah, you hear Clooney's voice over here, then over here, then over here behind you. And
that's wild, dude.
It's one of the best movies. Somebody actually posted, where can I find this? in the actual
it's hard to find
picture. I'll just like go to eBay.
Well, so what they're saying is apparently the only one that has the Atmos track in Gravity is the Lux edition.
Yeah, Lux. Here we are again.
I have that one. I have that one.
It
was very expensive. It was really expensive.
It is. It's like $60-$70. You're like, what?
Yeah, it was like $80 for me.
Yeah. I'm glad I have it over here.
Yeah, I think I got mine on eBay or something, somewhat cheap. But yeah, that's why they can't find that one. So Hi-Fi Haven says his solution to a projector and a big screen is moving next door to Youthman.
There you go.
That's a YMD right there.
That's right. Youthman deal. Hook it up.
Help him move some subwoofers and you can watch as many movies as you like.
Right.
Hey, question for you guys. Is there a way to mix the upfiring and in like, ceiling Atmos speakers? Can you do like, can I say I have upfiring and I mix them with a rear whatever?
High channels or whatever.
Yeah,
I think you can in the AVR, yeah.
Yeah, and like the Odyssey setup, you can, what is that called? Speaker, not configuration. Maybe the speaker configuration in there. It allows you to do, you tell it, okay, I've got 2 upfiring speakers in the front.
Amplifier.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
Yeah. I might consider something like that. And let me get those focals in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned focal over here. I like the way that those sounded. Those Cora 806 Ds or something like that.
826 or 836, something like that.
Was it?
I got my camera right in the way.
I like those. Just play the Atmos Leaf demo. What's your favorite Atmos demo?
Typically for Atmos, I mean, there's a couple of them that I'll do for Atmos. Like even a lot of people say, oh my goodness, the Ready Player One.
Oh, okay.
I don't get a ton of Atmos in that. I mean, to me, like Gravity is very Atmos driven. I mean, like the whole concept, which is weird because there's really no sound in outer space.
I think any one of those space movies or any kind of sci-fi action movie should have some fairly good like Atmos scenes. Like John Wick has a couple of Atmos scenes, but I mean, like, what are we talking really? It's like the scene when they're at the funeral at the cemetery and it's raining, and then they're having a conversation underneath umbrellas, and you can hear the rain like hitting an umbrella up on top of your head. So like that's cool, but that's pretty much it that's in that movie.
Right.
Yeah. Which is why like I like the one demo. Oh god, I'm drawing a blank now.
I probably have that video too. It's the Blu-rays over here.
That's a good one, Chana.
Yeah.
I
have it. Huh?
Audiosphere. That's the one.
Oh yeah, Jupiter Rising is what you're thinking about.
Jupiter Rising.
Your favorite movie.
Bad movie.
No, he's talking about the Dolby Atmos.
That's his favorite
disc.
Yeah,
sure.
No, he's just being a dick.
Is the Audiosphere the one with the little balls are bouncing around?
The little ball bounces around, broom, broom, and then the little diamonds go pleating, and it all like goes like right above you.
I tell you what, there's a good one. And I can't ever remember what Blu-ray or 4K that it's on, but it's at the beginning of it. But it's just one of like the DTS X ones. That thing's rad. Like that's a good one, but I can't ever think of what it's called. But I think if you go to, or maybe it is Dolby Atmos, because I think you can download that one on Dolby Atmos's website. Download that trailer,
Hey, Home Theater Gurus is up in here. I like that guy's videos.
Yeah,
Very
man,
informative. He's a good teacher.
he is definitely
Knows
got
his
some good stuff, man.
he got
Oh,
the
I
whiteboard
won't.
there and
I won't say
everything.
nothing.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna mention a project. So
Oh, yeah, you
yeah.
can say.
Oh, really?
You could tease it. You can tease it.
All right. So we're working on a project. This is Joe's idea. Joe's got a lot of good ideas, guys, and but he come up with an idea. So we're working with several other content creators. One being Home Theater Gurus. So be on the lookout for it, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
And it does have to do with what we were talking about earlier with AMC and
Yeah.
my thought that, people need to have a home theater, not a sound bar. Come on.
So Hi-Fi Haven says the beginning of Blade Runner 2049 has an awesome demo of Atmos, and that's true. Actually, there's several scenes in that. I remember like way into the movie, they're in there's somebody looking inside a glass, like a person's behind the glass, and so you hear when they start speaking, it's like this big major echo. So that's a good one, definitely.
How about that one demo that's like starts off, you're listening to, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
The way that sounded, and it's like they're showing a concert. It's all like in black and white.
I think that's on the Dolby Atmos disc.
Yeah. And then they have the Corvette like sweeps.
Oh, that one. That's the Amaze trailer, I think.
Okay.
They call it, yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge. I haven't seen that one in a while. That was an amazing movie, though. I remember
That had a
watching
great mix.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, Tristan. So that's got a great Atmos track.
In that one demo, when they have the spaceships fly, sounds pretty crazy. In my system,
Underworld 4K Atmos mix. Somebody's suggesting that. Dave F. Good stuff. You can check this out. So Porfirio Vasquez says you can download Gravity Diamond Deluxe Atmos track through torrents. Okay, that's illegal, man. So, I was like, oh man, he's figured out. Oh crap.
I'm like, oh.
And Youthman just promoted it. Great.
Yes, there you go.
Oh, such is life.
John is over there taking notes.
He's like, what's that torrent called?
How do you spell torrent?
Not Tourette's.
I know what Joe always says is like, Plex.
Yeah.
Makes all your bootlegged movies look legit with the synopsis, the actors. So that's always kind of nice.
Yeah, you need Plex to make all those look legit.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get them, but whatever. However you're saying. What else we got?
Track they were talking about.
Which one?
In the one with the concert where you're listening to Dolby Atmos.
Yeah, I like that one.
Joe liked it because it reminds him of his ASMR videos he watches.
Yeah. Hey, CJ Clampett.
Dolby Atmos. Who wants to do that? There's another good idea. Whoever wants to do the first Dolby Atmos ASMR, that's a game changer.
Oh my gosh.
ASMR Dolby Atmos unboxing. Boom.
Wow.
Right there.
Oh man.
What is it? You just start sniffing the packaging.
The ASMR unboxer. You like that idea?
Oh, not really. Today we will unbox
Dolby Atmos.
Why do they always say first I'm gonna? Why do they always say first I'm gonna what? Like why you gotta warn
You're
me?
like, yeah, why you gotta warn me? Just do it.
Yeah.
I'm here to fall asleep, not listen to you tell me what you're going to do. Just do it, please. Thank you.
That's funny.
Hey, this question from CJ Clampett just joined in. Couch against the back wall, best way for Atmos 5.1.2 or 5.2.4. That's exactly my situation.
Yeah, it's hard.
You have that too, huh?
Yeah, so I have on the sides of the couch, literally flanking the couch, are bipole speakers, and I know Dolby doesn't recommend bipoles for your surrounds for Atmos because it's object based. You can place a pin drop anywhere in the sky. But anyway, I don't like it that way. I like it with bipoles. And then I have my right above them, I have the SVS prime elevation speakers kind of mounted so they're angling down toward the main listening position. So that's how I have 5.1.4 in my living room with the couch backed up to the wall. If you want to email me, I can send you some pictures or whatever, technodad55@gmail.com. But yeah, that's how I do it.
Hey, can we camp on that thought for just a second? Because you mentioned something that a lot of people ask me from time to time is, can I use the bipole or dipole, basically your, I guess what you call a wide dispersion speaker for Atmos. And I've looked on the Dolby Atmos website, and maybe I've missed it, but I read through it, and what I was seeing is they just don't recommend those types of speakers for Atmos, like your channel. Like, that's my understanding. So if you're using them as your side surrounds or your back surrounds, they're cool with that. I haven't seen anything. And you guys in the chat, if you can find something that suggests otherwise, by all means, let us know. Because I'd love to make sure that I'm giving accurate information, but I haven't found it yet. It was just saying the Atmos speakers, that's what they don't recommend, which makes sense because you want those to be very directional. So, I don't know.
Okay, so it's just for the high channels or the.
Again, that's what I saw, and somebody in the chat, if you guys know something differently, feel free to correct me. You won't be able to post a link, but at least tell us kind of where it's at, and then we can use. Mark says that he uses Paradigm bipole speakers as his sides, and they work great. And I do the same thing. I've got my sides and my surround backs. Yeah, both wide dispersion. I don't really have anything to compare it to. I've never had direct radiating for my side surrounds and surround backs, but
in like a dedicated room in a theater, like I don't think you would see much of that. I had just some bookshelves because I bought the bookshelves and they were my fronts. And then I was like, oh, I can upgrade to these towers and get a free subwoofer. Thank you, Klipsch. I did that, and I moved the bookshelves to the surround locations. And then I was just like, man, I can tell exactly where all the sound is coming from. And that's what happens when you have a monopole as a surround. And then when I switched to the bipoles, and it was just like it was cooler. I couldn't localize the sound where it was coming from. So it really does like envelop you, and I like that.
I think that's the whole point of it to me, is that you want to be immersed in it, and if you kind of can pinpoint, oh, that sound came from there, that sound came from exactly there, then to me it kind of takes away from that immersiveness. So just an opinion.
Hey, I like the Sonos Beam. I saw that comment there. I'm not making fun. I reviewed the Sonos Beam. I actually thought it was good. I did some measurements. I'm like, this thing measures pretty flat. So I would say that I could recommend that. For somebody looking for a 5-channel system, that thing was pretty decent, better than most soundbars that I've heard. So if you have to go that route, it wasn't. I thought it was going to measure like garbage, and it was actually they're using DSP to make it flat. So props to them. What else we got in here in the chat? There's so much. It's hard to keep up.
Camilo asked, do you think it's a good idea to make DIY home theater speakers? I think definitely if you've got the ability to do that, go for it. I cannot build crap. I recently built a shelf for the new projector and did okay with that, but I did have some help from a friend of mine. But if you can build your own speakers and create something that sounds good, I mean, go for it. There's some packs out there that'll allow you to kind of buy them pre-made. So if you're, if you don't want to have to start from scratch and you want to be able to use a design that's already kind of tried and true, there's definitely some options out there. Check out Life of Bliss on, he's here in the chat. Kyle has a DIY setup. It's got like dual.
There's a lot of DIY stuff. Awesome stuff.
I mean,
crazy stuff.
His center channel is just redonkulous, man. Got this massive, I think they're like 10-inch woofers in them. Big boys.
That guy has larger speakers in like for his rear speakers than I have as like my main speakers.
Yeah.
He doesn't play around.
Yeah. So check it out. Life of Bliss. But he's got a lot of DIY stuff. So definitely, DIY is a great way, especially when you're talking subs. Subs, I think, would be easier maybe to make than like a loudspeaker.
I agree with that one.
You know,
I agree with that. It's
um,
yeah, and there are a lot of plans too.
yeah. But if you're handy, I mean, they've got all kinds, especially subwoofer. They've got all kinds of tuba, the tuba HT, the
Arts Express
Martys.
has the Martys, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
there's a lot.
definitely a lot that you can get away with that and have a great sounding setup and not spend a ton of money. You know, I think my biggest thing with the DIY is I want them to look nice too.
Mhm.
And so I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I'd like literally, I'd be spray painting them. And it would look ridiculous. You know.
Yeah, they gotta look
So,
good, and that
yeah,
usually is the part that takes the longest if you want it to look decent.
yeah. So if you're wanting to do like, there's another guy in our chat, Home Theater Gurus. I think he's making some DIY stuff as well.
Is that the one with the square port?
What's
The
that?
slot port? I think I
Let
saw
me look. I don't know. Let me look. YouTube. I don't want to share my screen
Yeah.
because I got a warning earlier and it said something about Chrome could crash if you try to share your screen. So I'm like,
Somebody also said here that that OSD 5 channel is like the most slept on.
Yeah, it probably is.
nice.
Hey, now I'm interested.
Here,
Who wants
here.
to-
This is the newest one. It's the A5500.
Very curious now. I like, that's affordable. So OSD, hit us up. One of us can do
Kyle's got the hookup with them, man.
app stuff.
Kyle can send them our way.
150 watts per channel into 8 ohms. That's pretty
Nice.
good. 200 watts per channel into 4 ohms. That's great for $500.
Yeah.
And you get RCA and XLR. Oh,
If it's good, right? It has to be good. So
good. Yeah, it has to work.
it has to work. Can't be like running 3 channels. I saw some complaints about the remote thing not working or something. So
what do you mean a remote?
The remote on the amp?
remotely?
Oh,
With the-
remote, like the turn on.
Oh, the trigger.
Trigger, yes.
12-volt trigger.
So I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was looking on Home Theater Guru's channel. He's got he's building one called the Hammer. It's called Sub Build the Hammer. He's got I guess he knows how to do like even gloss finish. So if you guys are into that stuff, man, there's definitely some great guys out there that can teach you how to do DIY subwoofers and home theater speakers, surrounds, front, center.
I made a sub one time. I called it the Nice Cube. I actually won like some Reddit thing, in the DIY group,
Right.
because I guess they liked how it came out, and that was in storage as well. So that's gone.
Gotcha. Cool.
Wonder what the paint job is like now.
Here's the thing. Matt says, I think you're incorrect, Youthman. Dolby recommends direct radiating for all around. Or speakers are all around. So yeah, I thought
I appreciate it. Can you kind of point us in the right direction? Because I'd love to see where that's at. Not that I'm questioning you. I just want to know from my own. Because what I read,
like rumors either way on it.
Yeah,
both ways. Let's see. I just had to run and do some tech support upstairs.
Because if that's true, man, I gotta sell my RS62s and
oh man,
figure out. I may have to put some JTR surrounds up there, man.
From Youthman.
What's that?
Someone might get. You're gonna sell that stuff. Someone will get a Youthman deal from Youthman.
Yeah.
Youthman deals only go one way.
Yeah.
Only go coming in, it's a Youthman deal. Going out, it's a China deal.
Okay, so see, then there's an opposite.
That's how he rolls.
The Lincoln Atmos recommendations, the PDF. Yeah, see, that's what I was reading through that PDF document, and I'm like, what I saw, it was saying, that they're just saying the Atmos speakers. And if you really think about it, you wouldn't call your main speakers Atmos speakers. Yeah. So why would you call your side surrounds Atmos speakers or your surround backs Atmos speakers? So that's where I was getting kind of confused on that. Like, I'm not so sure. So,
yeah. So Paolo Z says he got his Hi-Fi Summit ticket today. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
Very cool. We've been having meetings, right, with some companies. They're ready to do some crazy stuff, and I'm just so excited.
We're hoping to have some really nice giveaways for you guys, and really, can I share that with them?
They're just. I don't think they're ready for.
I don't think so.
Some of these giveaways these companies are talking to me about.
Okay. But I mean, we can kind of So really, the thought is, think about this. hi-fi companies, people that are, these brands, these manufacturers, they're, when they go to Axpona, when they go to Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, when they go to CES, CEDIA, those are big money for them. Most of the time they're renting a room at that facility. That costs money. Then on top of that, they've got to have transportation for them and their staff. So there's flights, there's hotels, there's food while they're there. And then on top of that, they got to like ship or transport all of their speakers, all of their amplifiers, all of their, acoustic panels and all of that, their subwoofers. So that costs them quite a bit of money. And something like, especially like CEDIA, CES, we're talking big, big money. And so our thought, part of the thought behind the Hi-Fi Summit is creating a place that brands can highlight their products, schedule meetings with you guys, have, and the money that they would save from not having to do all of that, we're just challenging them. Look, don't just give away a pair of speakers.
Yeah.
Give away a system.
Give away a system. And a pair of speakers. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, or give away,
Crazy.
go all out. Instead of giving away your budget, maybe Paradigm steps up. Hey, hint, hint, we got a Paradigm rep in the channel here.
What's up?
Maybe Paradigm steps up and says, man, we'll do some personas, that would be sweet,
I have a company
so that's kind of the thought behind
budget speakers, right? So I do a lot of budget stuff, and so one of the companies like, yeah, we can do like a giveaway for like 20 pairs of speakers. I'm like, yeah, do that.
Yeah,
20 pairs is good.
Yeah,
so we have some big name companies, right? All stuff that you've heard of, 100% for sure, guaranteed you've heard of, and yeah, we're challenging them. I like that. We're challenging them to get crazy with their giveaways. Make it exciting. Make it something worth talking about.
Yeah,
right?
Let's have a lot of fun with this. And that that's been our heart from the beginning of Daily Hi-Fi, is that we want to have fun. We want to encourage you guys to have fun building your systems. Don't get too caught up in the nuts and bolts of it, man. Just be able to sometimes just kick back, laugh, smile, enjoy it. Get giddy every once in a while. How about
have fun? I didn't tell you guys actually, but before this, I was actually on the phone with Rocky Mountain Audio Fest. I'm like, I need you guys to support me. I want your support. And I showed them what's going on. They're like, they're like, oh wow, right?
Yeah.
And I said, hey, if something happens and if the show is not able to happen, I have your back too, right? Because there were Expono was canceled. Right? It wasn't, we were supposed to do that. Now it's for sure canceled. No refunds.
Yeah, I know. That's the hard part. Like there's zero refunds. Yeah. So I've talked to a couple of brands and that hurts, man. I mean, because a lot of these brands, they've got $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 invested in one event.
You know what I feel bad for is I feel bad for the people who where this was their first event.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine you're like, all right, I'm gonna do the first. First event. I'm talking about
the manufacturers and brands.
I got this new product. This is gonna be my first event. I'm gonna go. Okay, that's a bad first experience. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so I'm sure they have their reasons for doing that. I'm not here to judge what they're doing or not doing.
Absolutely.
I just think that it's unfortunate for everyone. I'm sure they wanted to have a great show.
Yeah.
And So you saw what I'm doing on the Hi-Fi Summit for anybody who was unable to get a refund. So if you have a company or know of a company who was planning to go to Expona, weren't able to get a refund, I'm offering them a free brand page and a product page at the Hi-Fi Summit. There are real costs to that. For us to do that, it does require work. But I figure if there's any way that we can help, there it is.
Kind of soften the blow, basically. Yeah.
As much as we can help, we got to help, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what's going on. Chana, you excited or what?
Oh man, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I got to do a lot of stuff.
You got to get that internet solid for your DJ.
Yeah, I know, for the after parties. I'm gonna drop a link to the Hi-Fi Summit down in the chat box, you guys. Yeah. So definitely, actually, here, let me do it to all of them real quick. All destiny.
See, Mark says he wants some Persona speakers giveaways. man. Heck yeah.
Make it happen.
Hook us up, man.
I wonder what SVS is gonna do.
I don't know, man.
We got
Hopefully it's gonna be big.
Do you
I
know?
heard they're giving away their new 18-inch woofer. No, I'm just kidding.
You got 18s now.
I haven't. Let's throw that out there. I have not heard anything. Everybody always asks me like, "Do you think SVS is going to come out with an 18-inch woofer?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm not on their marketing staff, and really they don't. You know, think about this. Yeah, when a company is working on stuff, they're not going to tell us anything.
Yeah,
you know?
not until it's ready.
Yeah, sometimes a company will be they'll get ready to produce something and bring it to market, and maybe like a month before, sometimes they'll reach out to us and have a sign called an NDR, no non-disclosure NDA. Sorry, yeah, non-disclosure agreement. Basically, like we got to be hush hush, can't say anything about it. If we do, they take us to court, and they,
all the bad stuff happens.
Yeah, they get the Youthman name, and
they get a different Youthman deal.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So we have another question. Because my girlfriend just sat down next to me in the theater, my question is, how do your wives' girlfriends handle this home theater sickness maybe that we all have?
Yeah. Here's the deal. I know with my wife, I mean, when we first were dating,
Let me ask my wife.
I had speakers. When we got married, we would move into a house, and no lie, guys, I would take my speakers out of the car, set them up. Everybody's bringing in boxes and unboxing this and that. I'm setting up the speakers. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, we got to have some music while we're working, right?" So she's known that from the beginning, and she tolerates it. It was actually my wife's idea to have the theater room.
Oh, look at that!
Which was super cool.
Well, we got El Jefe in here too, man. We got the stars in here. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's all good. What I didn't know is there was a selfish motive there, because she figured if he has a dedicated theater room, that means I don't ever have to see speakers in the living room. And now I still have speakers in the living room though. So
got you.
Yeah, but that was her idea too. So
El Jefe coming through for the recovery. Yeah. Oh, El Jefe is the best.
Whoa, look at that. Super chat.
20 splat right there. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you so much. El Jefe reviews. He's my headphone guru guy. So Intuit over here is telling me that I need to upgrade my IEMs. He's trying to say, like, he's making fun of these KZ KS10 Pros. I like these. So what should I upgrade to? I'm down to try some new stuff. You know what I mean? El Jefe, you let me know. If you guys don't follow El Jefe reviews, you need to. If you're into in-ear monitors, headphones, true wireless earbuds, he's the man.
He is all that stuff. Yeah, sure.
And he's very consistent too in the stuff that he says. You know what I mean? Like how you have your intros and stuff like that. He always has this thing like when he's testing out the mic quality. But as always, you guys let me know in the comments.
Yeah. Oh man. It looks like we got a lot of people in here. 153 people. Where did he put that super chat? Was that on your channel?
Yeah.
Good.
A few under 200. Man, you guys, these were like $50 or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. They weren't very expensive. Nice. So you guys are stepping up to 200 already. It's quite a jump.
We talked about Amazon cutting commission. No, we didn't talk about that one.
Cutting commissions?
Yeah. I think it's on certain things. I don't know how much it affects us, and it's like we just go for it, man.
Yeah, I'm not too worried.
It's like it's like anything. Like if you invest in stocks or if you invest in mutual funds, I mean, it's gonna be up and down, and you just ride it out. It's like, we're here to have fun, and of course we got bills to pay like everybody else, but
we ain't worried about nothing. We'll just go double.
Go hard, man.
Just go double.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much
it.
That's true.
Here. Oh, and by the way, my wife likes the home theater. To answer that question, she says, "Thank you for bringing the theater home."
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, my wife's not like that. But like when we started dating, all the equipment and stuff was already in my apartment back then. So she just had to get used to it. Pretty much. She was already there.
What should I get? 10. Let's see.
On average, man, is that how you say that? Yeah. Do I actually like the Rel subwoofers that I have right now. But they're mated to, or they're with Martin Logan Electrostats. So those have 4 8-inch woofers and the Rels, and there are 2 of them. There's 2 15-inch woofers. So for bass, I think I got it covered pretty much for music with those 2. And they blend really well together. So I got a nice balance right now.
China, we're gonna get you down here to Florida sometime, man. You
Hear
and
them
Joe.
JTRs.
No, you don't hear them.
I just feel it.
You experience them.
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I want that experience.
Get that brown note.
Ew.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Oh man.
Nah, literally, it's all about balance, you know. And some people look at it and like, man, how can you have 4 18s in a room that size? And well, I don't have them cranked up wide open. You know,
that's
I've
true.
got them balanced with the rest of the system. And so when they're hitting those crazy, you know, explosions in John Wick or
just the
Ready
gunshots, you know, pa 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 pa, just right in your chest.
it's intense, but it's clean, you know. You know, they're sealed, so there's no port chuffing. So there's just, you know, it's all about balance. So
Yeah. Speaking of balance, Conga Empire's got a great question. How does the spouse approval factor get navigated? And I'd like to think of it as balance. So like, so if I need to buy something, I might have to just buy something for her.
Yeah.
and then it's okay. Oh well, here's a new purse.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, $1,000.
You guys don't wear the pants? You guys are wearing the pants? Who's wearing the pants over there?
Here's the $200.
I'm over here like, is she sleeping? She's sleeping. Yeah, who are you wearing the pants over there, huh?
But I mean, I just buy stuff and big boxes show up. So she doesn't really care as long as it's not taking up floor space in the living room, right? When you have a dedicated room, you can take up whatever space you want. But having floor space in the living room is key. So having those big corn walls, oh man,
yeah.
Every day she's like, "Are these things going back soon?" Because like she did not want them.
They're huge.
Yeah, those like 2 feet wide kind of things. Like it was a bit rough.
Yeah.
And then once I put the Martin Logans back, she's like, "See these? I like these."
Oh, these.
You know,
we're having fun up in the chat right now, huh? Today's a fun day. We're just relaxed, just messing around.
Here's Topher's. You see that comment there, Mike? It's
Topher. Let me look here.
It's on screen.
Oh, I'm looking on my deal. All right, Topher says, Youthman, just want to say I purchased and have had my monoprice monolith. Yeah, I saw that one earlier, man. That's awesome. 15-inch sub for a year, and I'm loving it. Now thinking about getting a second one. Thanks for your recommendation. Man, appreciate that, man. Yeah, the monolith, their products are sweet, man. I still remember when I first heard they were coming out with amplifiers and subwoofers. I'm like, what kind of mess is that? I mean, monoprice, I've been using them for 13 years since I started building my theater room, but it was always cables, speaker wires, things like that. And I couldn't believe it. You know, but when I finally like, fine, I'll check it out. I'll listen to it. We'll see what it's all about. Because a lot of people are saying these are really quality amps. These are really quality subs. And sure enough, man, they were right. So definitely glad you're enjoying that, man.
That's awesome to hear. I love it when people are like, "Oh, dude, I bought these by your recommendation, and it's been awesome."
Yeah,
it's always great to hear. I have a roommate situation, so I cram my systems into one of the bedrooms, but the living room is odd shaped anyway. Yeah,
dude, I love this comment. Raw Saw HD says my girlfriend is supportive and wants me to start my own channel because you watch these guys all the time. You should just make your own videos.
Yeah.
That's rad, man.
Yeah. Heck yeah. We need more people.
There's a lot of new guys coming in.
Yeah.
A lot of new guys.
Who are some of your favorites? I know you just mentioned some.
What's that?
Who are some favorites coming up? Who are some up and comers?
Up and comers, man.
I always mention he's not up and coming. He's been around. But Villaman,
Yep.
dude's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
Dave?
he's definitely not up and
Hey.
coming, man. He's already
Yeah, he's
there.
been around. And
like some new guys. All right, so Spec of Tech. And
okay.
so he's a guy. Barrett is in, where's he at? Canada, I think. So he's just kind of new on the scene. So he's got a cool little channel. Average Guy Hi-Fi. So Dustin, another guy I've been connecting with and having some chats with, he basically does like a lot of, what he'll do is kind of like the Youthman deal. He'll go out and buy really inexpensive, like a subwoofer, bring it home, review it, and then he'll turn around and sell it for the same price that, that he bought it for. And he's just showing people, hey, you can build a system on a budget. And so his is called Average Guy Hi-Fi. So definitely a lot of great guys out there. I just plugged a guy that I just met just recently, Chris. And so he's just building his own home theater. And his channel is kind of hard to find because it's called My Home Theater, like is his channel name. I'm like Chris, I can't find you, man. But I've got a link if you're interested. It's on my community page. I have a link to it. But he was all excited. He's like, he had 59 subscribers, and he said he was made a video, and he's like, man, guys, if we get to 100, I'm going to give away this little plaque that I made, which was like a Dolby or DTSX.
Oh, right.
Plaque.
Little black things people hang.
Yeah. So he made one. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And he didn't ask me. He didn't mention it to me. But I'm like, you know what? Let me just see if I can throw some love his way, man. Because I think he's got a cool home theater. He's doing it all himself. And I always have respect for guys that can build stuff and make stuff, on their own. And so I'm like, I posted it on my page and then on the Youthman Crew Facebook group. And let me just see. I'm gonna pop over to his channel. Oh, if I can find it. Let's see. But he had 59 subscribers yesterday. And so I'm like, hey guys, let's see if we can get him to his 100 subscribers. Let's see. Click on here. He's at 236. So he easily exceeded that in a day. So it was pretty cool. But Chris is just super nice guy. But there's a lot of good guys out there that just love the hobby. They love, whether it's 2-channel, home theater. So yeah. And then there's another guy I just started watching too. He's close to, I think, 1,000 subscribers. He's in Australia. So it's pretty cool. He and I had been chatting back and forth. So
it's great when they're when people start up from different parts of the world because they have limited or they don't have as many options or stuff like that. And I get people, different stuff too. I get people from the UK. Hey, I want to buy some speakers. I got 2,000 to spend. What should I get? I'm like, I always start off with, well, what brands do you have access to where you live? Otherwise, if I recommend something, they're like, oh, I can't get that here. I'm like, oh crap, I just wasted my time.
I've done that too. You give this whole long list. Check out these are like none of those are available where I'm at. Man.
So it's great. It's great.
Check out some of these smaller channels like this guy Youthman. He's coming up. He's doing some pretty cool stuff.
He's trying, man. He's trying. It kind of ties into this question here from Rawsaw. How much time a week do we put into our channels? And that's going to vary for everybody. And what I tell people is, and I just shared this with a friend last night, I don't have time. I make it. Yeah. And the reality is you're going to make time for what's important in your life. So if, it's your hobby, you're going to find time to do it. If it's your business, you're going to find time to do it. I was running 3 jobs. Chana's still doing 4.
No. There's no music lessons happening and no weddings or no DJing happening.
But you're still doing them though.
Well, I was gonna say, like, when my first year, I was banging out 3 videos a week, like retard. Sorry, my wife says I shouldn't say the R word. Just
banging out,
just banging them out, just video after video. I was doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Release schedule, and I just stuck to it. And that's really what did it. But like I have a graveyard shift that I work, and usually it's like 10 minutes of paperwork, and I have to walk the property twice. That takes half an hour. So I've got about 7 hours where I'm doing nothing. And I've shot plenty of videos in the hallway in the back there.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
instead of you could be watching Netflix, and nothing against Netflix, nothing against watching TV but the
Xbox.
reality is, or playing video games. But the reality is, it's like, okay, you could be doing this, or you could be building your business and building your brand, or starting up a new business, whether it's on YouTube or anything. Maybe it's just a home business, doing something. So, but
time thing is basically, on you and up to you on like, I would write down like, 20 video ideas and then see like, okay, which ones can I do quickly? Which ones can I get out fastest?
Sure.
Like those kinds of things.
And I think one thing I'm even trying to do on my channel to be able to get more content for you guys, especially because a lot of you are at home, you've got more available time right now. And really, honestly, I'm even just trying to keep your minds off, what's going on in the world, and just give you, kind of some relief. I had a cool email I received from a guy, and he basically said, "Hey, I live overseas. I was wanting to travel to go see my girlfriend. I haven't seen her in a while." And he said, "I was really down today, and your video popped up. You got a new video." And he said, "I just want to let you know." And he took the time to write me and email me. And it's things like that that's like, okay, it's kind of weird, but in some odd way, we're able to make a difference even in this crazy, time that we're living in right now. But one thing that I'm trying to do with my channel is certain videos, they take a long time. Like you can ask all of us. There have been times I've spent 3 and 4 days working on a video. That's not typical, but there are times things don't go right, or you like do a set of testing and you're like, oh crap, that didn't work, or whatever. You're having technical issues. I remember doing the SVS app, and I bet I spent.
I remember that.
So mad. I was so frustrated.
There was something wrong with it. I had to help you.
You helped me. Yeah, you had to like export the video, and it was just so choppy and so laggy on my end.
I had to I just re-encoded into something else and then gave it back to him, and then it worked. He couldn't figure it out. But I would have been pissed spending all that time doing it.
Yeah. But the thing is, so you just never know. But what I'm trying to do is, okay, some certain videos, are going to be, all right, this is going to be a long one. This is going to be an 8-hour edit just in the editing, because there's a lot of B-roll. There's a lot of, animation and different things like that. But then I try to mix that with some videos that I can knock out pretty easily. This may be just something sharing an experience that I have, or like today, I did just a really quick tip on, how to use masking on a projector and what's that for. So that didn't take me too long. And so, just different things like that. So it really just depends on, the content creator, but, I can assure you, man, it's a job, that is for sure, but we love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. I wouldn't, I can't think of doing anything else, man. It just, as you can tell, it excites me.
Yeah. Lots of time. You got to spend lots of time, right?
Yeah. There's no doubt.
I mean, quantity, you can do quality. All of it takes time.
Yep.
I think people notice that too, right? If you I've rushed out videos before and people don't like them as much. And so you have to spend the time. I do.
That was the funniest thing too, because the first time I met Joe, we did a quick video. I was like, yeah, let's shoot something quickly. Let's talk about these UV5s. And literally I set up my phone and he's like, that's it? You're shooting on your phone? I'm like, yeah. And then we do the video. And then I'm like, all right, cool. And it was like, it literally took 5 minutes to shoot the video. And then he looks at me, he's like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Because when you called me, right? So this is when we first met. You called me like, hey, I'll come over to your shop, whatever. And I'll bring my stuff. Like you made it sound like you had like gear to bring.
It was like a tripod, phone, and a microphone. That was it.
Little cage on there. Bring my stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Lights and everything. Yeah. Like, okay, that's cool.
I got more stuff now thanks to Joe.
See, now you got crazy with it. You really have stuff. Now you went overboard. Most stuff out of everybody.
Oh man.
Yeah, Into It Reviews. Yeah. Go check him out. What else we got here? There's a question about misconceptions about somebody saying their sound bar is loud enough. And
Yeah,
Oh,
the
soundbar.
problem with a sound bar is this is you don't get a lot of separation, right? The sound stage is not that wide. It's impossible for it to be that wide, right? I've reviewed some of the widest sound bars that you could imagine. Like these are really long sound bars, right? And still they're just not far enough apart for it to sound like it's, you know, coming from the left and from the right. And that's just left and right? So yeah, that and then coherence. So a sound bar, there's no way. So 80 hertz is the point where you can't tell where bass is coming from, right? So ideally, you want a sound bar to go down to 80 hertz, and then the sub will take over from there. Most of these sound bars, yeah, right, they're not gonna come close to getting down to 80 hertz, right?
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is the sub takes over too soon, and then you can tell like, oh, there's a sub over there, right? And that's an issue. So coherence is one of the main things also.
Yeah, to get the proper sound stage and everything crammed into one spot is really tough. Really tough. And I would whenever I see a comment when someone's saying like, "Hey, what do you like about this soundbar?" I'll even get emails, and I'm like, "Thing costs $1,200. I think you should buy XYZ instead of the soundbar." And all you need is some bookshelf speakers and a halfway decent AVR, maybe $300 to $500, and you're already better off
I'd
than
rather have that. I'd way rather have just two bookshelf speakers and that's it, just two channels. I'd rather have two decent speakers than a soundbar, personally.
Got an interesting comment over here. James says, "Hey, do you guys know if Fandango and Voodoo is going to merge? Y'all heard anything about that?"
I have not. I have not. James, I don't know. I'm a huge Voodoo fan, so
I've never actually used Voodoo.
Fandango is the only streaming platform that has IMAX enhanced movies. So if they're merging with Voodoo, then that's good. Because I use
John's like, good for me because I use them.
I use it all the time. And you know what's funny? We've actually, so my wife wanted to, she's doing all these home workouts, and there's this app called Open Fit. They have all these types of workouts, whatever.
Is that the Peloton thing?
No, it's not I don't think it's
because they've got a Peloton app. My wife's been doing that, and she loves it. Anyway, my bad. Go ahead.
So it's all good. So this app is only on either the Roku or Apple. And man, I like the Apple TV 4K, but some of these apps are just god awful to use on that, and it's so much easier on the Roku. So over this past month and a half, we've been using the Roku Ultra, which is only $80, and you compare that to the price of the Apple, which is what, $160 to $199, right? It's like half the price, pretty much. And man, everything works out great. Like the Voodoo app on the Apple TV 4K is also very booty. Like it doesn't have the main things that you want to see. The new highlighted movies, they don't have that. You have to search, or you can only look at your movies. It's like, what's the point in that? And then you got to think about from Voodoo side, well, they've got to make the app for all the TV manufacturers. They have to make the app for all the streaming boxes, and then they finally get to Apple, and they're like, let's just do this and not worry about it. So
yeah,
I'm actually starting to lean over to the Roku Ultra side as my favorite streaming box, and it's only like,
I think you need to get that new NVIDIA
Shield.
Yeah,
the Shield, the little round tube looking one.
What is it? Shield? What are they calling it this time?
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. The other one's like $300.
Yeah, it's just a little tube one is all you need. I think that's a cool one.
The Shield stick.
I don't have it, so
I don't know. Mark, you do get Atmos on the Roku. At least my Ultra, I'm getting Atmos on. So
nice.
Somebody asked, I think, what I'm using for home theater speakers right now. I'm using these triangle BR03 Bro 3s. Yeah, some triangle speakers, and then they sent me the center channel too, the BRC01. And yeah, these are some cool looking speakers. I like the way they look.
Look at RGA. My wife confirmed she got a merger email, fellas.
Okay.
There we go.
Nice. Very good.
All right. Well, we're over time. We're just having too much fun. Should we take one call? I think I always like to take one call. I always feel like it rounds out the whole thing.
Anybody want to call in? Bring it on, man.
Let me
Got a
see.
question?
Turn this on here.
Chana, you got the number? There it is right there, guys. Check out the number down below, 818-237-3030.
I think RGA is like one of the funniest guys. My channel admittedly sucks, but I don't pretend it doesn't.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
Just
God.
have fun with it.
Yep.
There was a funny one too here while you're doing this. Oh, where is it at? Oh, here we go. Sleazy Pig, 8:37 p.m. on my end. Soundbars are best used as a club to use on burglars. No love for soundbars.
I mean, there is that one sound bar that's like $2,400. Who makes it? No, not the Nakamichi. So those ones are a lot less. Sennheiser, right? Is that the one?
Yeah. They start getting huge though, right? When they start getting pretty decent, the sound bar is no longer a bar. It's just like a box.
1.4.
It's like a sound mantle at that point.
Sound mantle.
Sound mantle. I like that. You got to coin that one. Sound mantle.
Yeah. Where's this best? Oh, stupid.
Yeah, $2,500. Wow. It's on up there.
It has like a billion speakers in it, right? On. Look at Sleazy Pig.
What does he say?
He says, "On makes a nice club."
Oh, on. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 woofers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tweeters.
Yeah. Probably like a little subwoofer somewhere. Maybe.
Somewhere.
Yep.
I don't know. Oh, there's an Amplifier.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
There it is.
That's ridiculous right there, man.
Boom.
Right.
That's pretty hefty. I mean,
see what I mean? It is mental.
Like Joe said, that it's going to be hard to separate that. I mean, because check out the width of that.
Yeah, you know that's not going to fit under a TV. Guaranteed. All right. Here we go. Here we go.
All the way on. There we go.
49 in 50 inches.
Okay, it's a
4 second. Wait, I hear you. 1 second. Let me just get this on.
Pounds. Look at that. That's heavy. Dang. What is people saying?
Hold on. Just somebody on here and I wasn't ready.
Blew away my Bose Lifestyle 650. Amazing. Sounds better than the theater.
The reality is, like anything in life, guys, you can spend as little or as much as you want. And there's always going to be a manufacturer out there that's going to take it up a notch. So if you got the coin, I'm just thinking for $2,500, man, you can have a kick butt, little setup. Yeah. That would destroy any soundbar. But it's all about convenience. Not everybody wants wires, not everybody wants big, massive speakers. And so I get that. I mean, I think there's a place for it, but not in Youthman's house.
Here, Joe.
Yeah. Or what you get when your wife wears the pants. That's right. That's right.
And look, Sleazy Pig. That soundbar would make a nice center channel. Yes, it would. And I've had people ask me, they had a soundbar and they bought like a system and they're like, "Can I use this for my center channel?" No, you can't.
Let me call this guy back.
Oh, you're calling him back?
Yeah. Oh, there is no Atmos from ending. Oh,
call back. I wasn't set up. No.
Joe was picking his nose. He didn't see you calling.
Yeah, I forgot I was testing out a Bluetooth thing in here, so it wasn't paired up. But now we're set up.
Oh, please call back, whoever you were.
299 power edifier, huge difference. Yes, I reviewed these $90 edifiers and I was impressed. They're hilarious.
Does REW work on the latest version of Mac OS? Joe, you got a Mac. Does it work on that? Latest?
Yes. Well, I haven't. There's an update all the time, so I don't know. But yeah, REW's work. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling
Hi,
from?
I'm Damian Jackson. I'm always from Baltimore, Maryland. How you guys doing?
Hey, how you doing?
What's your name?
Damien.
Yeah, Damian Jackson, always from Baltimore, Maryland.
That's what's up.
Good to have you. What's your question, man?
What do you guys like best about home theater, and why?
Ooh, that's a
That's
good
a
one.
good question.
There's a lot of good things about home theater that I like. I mean, the
Let me think.
convenience, being
Exactly.
able to, I control the volume. How many times have I gone to, a movie theater and I'm like, come on, guys, this is supposed to be a movie theater, man. I want to experience it. I want to feel it. And the subwoofers are turned down really, really low, or the volume, it's hard to hear the dialogue. And, so I get to make that mix. I get to kind of dial it in the way that I want. So I get to choose the components that my ears enjoy, So, but man, there's a bunch. What do you guys like?
Yeah,
for me,
I have a
go ahead.
full.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a full-on Yamaha system.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Yamaha NSAP 9500 surround speakers, and I have it paired up with the OSD audio. There's the Black Series A5500.
Nice.
And I also have the Oppo 203 player.
Very good.
So that's that's a collector's item now. So
yeah.
So my future plan is to try to get a Marantz Pre-Pro.
Nice.
Replace my 4400H from Denon, and then also upgrade my second amp to the Outlaw Model 7000 power amplifier. That'll power up my my surround backs and my 5 high channel suite, which is my Dolby Atmos and my Voice of God Aura 3D.
Nice.
Perfect. Sounds like you had a sweet setup there.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yep, and I just recently upgraded to the Monolith 10 THX subwoofers.
You like those, right?
Is that the sealed one or the ported one?
These are like the 10-inch subs. These are like the this is the ported ones.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what do you like about home theater? You asked the question first.
Basically, what I like about home theater, I get the more options than an average soundbar. I get to turn up the cross. I get to so I get to tweak the crossovers. I get to tweak the volume. I get to tweak. So there's a lot of things I get to do with the home theater. So because I watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And so I can do full on Atmos. So this is so I've been doing this for like 4 years. So I've been liking it so far.
And at the end of the day, you built it, right? That's your setup. You
Yeah.
chose all the components.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You did the setup. So that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, so I'm eventually keeping on adding to it. So
there you
That's
go.
awesome.
for me.
That's awesome.
the fun part for me. It's like saving up to buy the new thing and be like, oh, you know what? Okay, I'm good here on all these little situations, but maybe with this, that would step it up another level. Like that was what was fun for me, buying things piece by piece. I got a new second panel. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get new bookshelves. I got new bookshelves, and I'm like, oh, there's a sale on these towers and a subwoofer. So then I got the towers, moved the bookshelves to the back, and then now I'm like, oh, this sounds great. And I sold the subwoofer, and then I started reviewing subwoofers. So then it's just like, oh, well, now I've got dual subwoofers. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So for me, I like piecing things together and taking my time with it. Now that my sound is completely
I'm with you too on that deal, because I'm always looking at good deals online on eBay, Amazon, and then just buy everything used.
Mhm.
Don't have to be, the latest and greatest. Just
Yeah.
buy everything from last year's model to or some of this year's model, or you can. So you can always do a little bit with your budget, but you don't have to overspend all at once.
Sure, absolutely. Build it over time. I think, for me, I enjoy the process and I enjoy the journey of home theater, probably even more so than I am looking for a particular, outcome, like an end result. It's never going to end for me. It's not that I'm always chasing something. It's just there's always so much out there, to try something different. Whether it's a different brand or a different sound, a different format. And it's not that I'm discontent with what I have. I love what I have, but it's still fun along that journey. So cool, man. Sound like you got a great setup.
Yeah. I'm always looking at something new to bring to myself, to bring the sound up, but not like overpowered.
Yeah, sure.
But once you start getting, once you have your stuff kind of dialed in, what I find is fun is getting somebody else set up. I enjoy in like getting somebody else their first setup and seeing them like light up for the first time, like, oh, they can't believe it. You know what I mean? So it becomes that.
Right.
Like on those old Sonys, my first Sony, but call it my first setup. Daily Hi-Fi, my first setup sticker.
Hey, thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Take care.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Stay safe.
I think for me, what's fun is that, like I said, my first job was at AMC, and before, like that was like the top, right? That was like the best system I had heard, at up to that point, like not a non-2 channel system, right? So a theater, and we have a pretty good theater here. So I know some people have crappy theaters. The AMC here is like, I grew up in Burbank, and so all the studios are around here, and they kind of use them as references, right? So we had all the latest and greatest, always calibrated and stuff like that. And so I just remember thinking, like, man, I wish my system at home sounded like that, And now you can get super close. And in your case, Youthman, I think yours probably exceeds some of the theaters, right? Especially in bass output. Like if you go, how much bass you have per square foot, I'm sure you're beyond what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's the fun part. To me, my young self is very happy. Like, oh, your system is sounding pretty good, man. Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, since we're just talking about a little bit about kind of sort of not really about it, but how important is the class of an amp, class D, H, etc.
All I really a more efficient class AB.
Yeah. Class A is going to be the hottest. It's going to take the most like electricity, most power. AB is a little bit better on that. And D is what you find in most subwoofers. Class D.
Like plate amps.
Yeah.
Yep.
The difference being that class D is the most efficient, right? But you have to have a pretty decent class D amp in order to have you have to filter out the highs. The way that it works is a little technical even for me. And basically, if you don't have a well-designed class D amp, the highs can not sound so great. But I think the better class D amps have figured out how to kind of get around that problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, importance as far as that's why class D, it doesn't matter for subs, because that only affected the highs. So for a sub, you could use class D all day, just go for the efficiency. They don't get as hot. More power. Yeah. They like low ohms. So yeah, that's
there you have it.
Yeah. All right. What do we got going on? Any other ones that you want to answer before we take off? Because we've been doing this for quite a while. We're almost at 2 hours and we're having a lot of fun.
Maybe another question here. So Raw says, how do you fight the upgrade itch? The cost.
The gear acquisition syndrome.
Yeah. He says, as of late, he's conflicted with spending thousands upgrading his front 3 or going do it yourself DIY from a value standpoint, something I didn't consider 10 years ago. Yeah, good luck with that, man. If you figure it out.
Yeah, good luck. It's like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I mean,
well, what front stage do you have already? Let's start there, and then we'll see what he means. Spending thousands upgrading my front 3.
I mean, the reality. All right, so even if going back to used, somebody mentioned that earlier. If you buy used equipment, you can get thousands worth for a few hundred, kind of thing.
Your dollar goes farther. Yeah, right.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if that's a deal, DIY is certainly a great way, but to be able to build DIY, especially towers and a sender, that definitely takes a lot more planning, and a lot more. Man, comments coming in galore.
Yeah, I know. So he's running the Klipsch KG 5.5s.
People we got.
135.
Okay.
I remember the KG5s. I had the 3.2s was the only series. Well, I had the 1.1s and the 3.2s.
Let's take the last call, then we'll call it a day.
Definitely some while you're getting the call ready. Definitely some better end Klipsch. To me, my personal, I always like the reference series. Those are the ones that have the copper cones, and the Heritage. Heritage makes some great speakers, just depending on kind of what sound you're looking for. Decibel Destroyer of mine is 13 foot wide, 19 foot deep with 10 foot ceilings. Go ahead.
All right. So you're on the air. What's your name? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is An Average Man. Just had a question for you on a lot of the different situations going on right now around the world. It's kind of making it to the point where people are not able to go out and actually listen to speakers and different things like that, like they'd want to, when you're going to go and purchase a new system, especially when you're talking about spending thousands of dollars.
Sure.
So when you're trying to look at things, I really appreciate you guys doing your demos and different things like that. But I realize, listening to the demo that you're producing, it's got to go through your microphone, go over the internet, come to my PC, go through my processor, go over my speakers or headphones.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of changes things.
Oh yeah, that's not. But definitely not ideal.
No. So when when I was sitting there and I was doing a lot of the research for myself, one of the things that I found is like when I was listening to videos on the Klipsch, just via YouTube, it seemed like they were lacking in the mid range. They had really sharp highs, really good lows, and it was like the mid range was kind of missing. And so they were really punchy and they had more power and more output. It felt like than say the Martin Logans, but the Martin Logans just seemed balanced more overall. Is there anything that you guys would recommend just as far as from a person who's trying to do research and trying to find their stuff, especially when they're not able to go out and get these things, on what they should or would look for when they're watching different videos?
Yeah. Maybe the biggest thing is just watch as many as you can. And the reason is sometimes let's say, for instance, if all three of us had the same mica speakers, you're going to find some common ground probably in all three of us. We're all going to have different, likes and dislikes about it, but there should be some commonality through that. Whether we all say, man, this just has some really good mid-range, or we may all say, man, really the top end is just kind of too weak for me. I want it to be a little bit brighter. So maybe look for those commonalities if you can. Other than that, it's hard, because we know audio is very, very subjective. And so even with us, I try never to tell somebody, I think you should go buy this. You got to make that decision on your own. The only thing I can do is try to share with you what I experience. How does this speaker make me feel? How do I, what do I hear? What do I like? What do I dislike about it? And then, kind of just pass that off to you. But that's tough, man. It really, really is tough. Chana, what were you going to say?
Interesting you bring that up because everybody hears things differently, but there are commonalities. Like I just reviewed the Klipsch Cornwall 4s, and after I did my review and edited my video and it's uploading, I watched the other ones on YouTube, and the commonality was that the vocals are just crystal clear, up front and center. That's what everybody said across the board. My experience was different with the low end. I needed to bump it up 2-3 notches. 3 for movies and TV, 2 notches up for music, and then that made things sound good. But the other people that reviewed the speaker didn't really hint on that, and I know one of them did like an upgrade, so I don't even know. I didn't want to get into all that, but it's all I can say is that if you're shopping for speakers, you know, it's tough right now. It really is tough right now, unless you have like a deep pockets where like you can literally buy a pair. And then, you know, as I used to always say, exercise your rights as a consumer. Make sure wherever you're buying from has a good return policy, and they don't mind you opening the speakers up and actually using them. I mean, that's really the only way right now where you can audition a whole bunch. If I was to do a demo of those speakers, those Klipsch Cornwall 4s in my living room, it would probably sound good. And if I did a demo of a pair of $200 speakers, it would sound good. But the problem, the issue is trying to get them together. So like if I combine the two videos, you know, and be like, oh, switching back and forth in the same song, here's 10 seconds on these speakers, here's the same 10 seconds on that speakers, then you can get like a comparative difference. But to make a video like that takes a ton of time. And then which speakers are you going to use in the video? Like these are all things that just make making the video even more difficult. So
I have a request for you. So
exactly.
you keep saying how those Cornwalls are super loud, right? Yeah. I want to hear like a comparison of, you know, like a normal speaker, right? Like a bookshelf speaker, you know, something like that at like a loud volume. And then I want to hear the Cornwalls at a loud volume and from a distance, you know what I mean? Like record. I want to hear what the difference is.
You know, like my wife was like, so she's like, she needed to leave. I ran through like 7 different movie clips, and like on the 5th one, she's just like, I got to go to the bedroom. Like it was too intense.
Yeah,
but
it's very detailed though. Like you said, it's very revealing. And so when you're watching a movie like John Wick, you're gonna hear every bit of that glass. You're gonna hear every gun shell.
Like oh my gosh, it was like I was right there. It's like
I would say like these guys are saying consensus, right? So when everybody's saying the same thing, then you know you kind of got to say like, I wonder why everybody's noticing that. Another thing is that from my test where I did measurements of speakers all around the room, I found that in my room above 700 hertz, it didn't really matter where I placed the speaker. I was kind of getting the same frequency response. So maybe over 700 hertz, maybe let's say to be safe over a 1,000 hertz, you can kind of listen to people's reviews of, you know, the upper mid range and the treble and how that sounds, because that's not so room dependent unless they have it like real close to a wall where it's getting a weird early reflection. But for the most part, above those frequencies, it's kind of consistent. You can get some consistency there. The bass is where it gets tricky, right? So how the bass sounds might sound completely different in my area. I know I can move one speaker from one room to another and have a totally different experience with regards to the bass. So that's where you have to really be careful is what people say about the bass, because that is so dependent on how you have it to the room. Is it near a corner? Is it near the middle of the wall? You know, what else is going on? That's where it gets very tricky. When I do my demos, like Chana was saying, it's always a relative thing. Like, how does this compare to this other speaker? And you may know the other speaker, right? And so you're able to compare it to maybe this speaker you're considering, right? I would look at Crutchfield. They have a very good way of doing it where you put in the headphones that you're actually using too. So it changes based on that. They don't have it for every speaker that's on the website, but they did it pretty accurately. They're using like a bunch of mics. And so you get an idea of the differences between the sound, and then you can choose to have them equal volume. So very cool. You can kind of hear the difference in tonality of the speakers. And it's decent. Like I went in and started looking at speakers that I've actually reviewed, and I'm like, yeah, that kind of gives you an idea. The newest thing that they did to that is they actually allow you to upload a song that you're familiar with. Before it was just what they had, you know, their weird like music you've never heard of. Now you can actually upload a song that you're familiar with, test it out, and see, you know, how it sounds on all the speakers. Again, it's not perfect, but I like to say that we consumers are a little bit spoiled, right? We're spoiled because we can order something, it'll come to our door, right? We don't have to go anywhere. It comes to our door, we open it up, try it out in your space. You don't like it, return it, right? That you actually have to take somewhere, but you can do that, right? So you can actually try stuff out at your house. So there's nothing better than that. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Like I say, I appreciate everything that you guys have been doing, especially with all the data you guys are providing. It really helps. And I get a lot of different information just as far as even like hints on these particular characteristics with the speakers. And you can kind of tell a little bit with the video, especially when you guys are mentioning about it too. So,
and graphs.
Thanks a lot for everything.
Learn to look at those graphs too. Learn to look at the graphs and see what some of those things mean, right? So when you get more used to the graphs, then that kind of tells you more than even what the person says, right? Because I've been tricked many times where I'm like, I might look at the graph first and say like, oh, that doesn't look like it sounds good. And then I listen to like, it doesn't sound bad. Or vice versa. It sounds decent and then the graph looks terrible. So it's not always the case, but it gives you, it's another source of information.
Oh, absolutely. Because I was watching a video from Joe and he was doing some sub reviews and showing some of the different graphs. And I actually applied it to the same type of information that I've got from my speaker setup that I've got with my PC, because that's where my subwoofer is right now. You know, and my subwoofer is only rated to go down to 35, but you could hear the roll off and you could actually feel it when you were doing some of the different tests. And just getting that information rather than going, well, it goes down to 20 hertz. You're not thinking about the roll off and the extra that kind of comes along with it. So that was really good information too.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Absolutely, man. Have a great night.
Great one.
Yep. Bye.
Cool
All right,
deal, man.
We're about for today. We're
2
at 2
hours
hours
in, man. Yeah, I think we're good.
We had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time out there. I know I enjoy this because everything feels normal when we're doing this, right?
Yeah.
Like all the problems, they just kind of go away. We're just having fun with each other. And so I'm happy. I'm thankful for you guys.
Johnny, you need to do a video about your Clips cornholes.
Oh my God.
That Matt, that wasn't me. That was Matt Buckmaster.
What?
906. That's funny.
Man.
Good stuff. That's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
There it is. Well, Chana, take us out.
All right. Where's that music at?
You need
We need that music. Oh, I got to stretch. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us here at the Daily Hi-Fi Podcast. We do this every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And my name is Chana for Joe and Mike. Thank you guys again. We'll see you next week. And as always, play that shit loud. All right.
Oh, mercy.
See you later, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.